In other news, top US and Russia diplomats, US Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov met in Saudi Arabia to resettle their ties and also start talks to end the conflict in Ukraine. The leaders agreed to appoint high-level teams to begin working on a path to end the conflict in Ukraine. Meeting also discussed conditions for meeting between US President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin. Fuzail Ahmed of DD India reports.
US Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov held talks in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia on Tuesday. Following the meet, the US State Department in a statement said that they've agreed to establish a consultation mechanism to address irritants to our bilateral relationship with the objective of taking steps necessary to normalize the operations of our respective diplomatic missions. Appoint respective high-level teams to begin working on a path to ending the conflict in Ukraine as soon as possible in a way that is enduring, sustainable and acceptable to all sides, and lay the groundwork for future cooperation on matters of mutual geopolitical interest and historic economic and investment opportunities which will emerge from a successful end to the conflict in Ukraine.
And as he said when he campaigned for president, and he wants it to end in a way that's fair, he wants it to end in a way that's sustainable and enduring, not that leads to another conflict in 2 to 3 years. That's not going to be easy to achieve, but he's the only one in the world that can begin that process. Donald Trump is the only leader in the world that could initiate that process, and today was the first step in that process.
While Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said that Russia and the United States agreed to establish a process of settling the Ukraine conflict and to remove barriers for diplomatic missions.
As for the Ukrainian issue, I mentioned the agreement that the Americans would appoint a representative and we would reciprocate. After that, the relevant consultations will begin.
Meanwhile, the Kremlin also said on Tuesday that Russian President Putin was ready to talk to Volodymyr Zelensky if necessary, but repeated its questioning of his legitimacy as Ukrainian president. Moscow also said that Ukraine had the sovereign right to join the European Union, but it was opposed to Kyiv joining NATO. Fuzail Ahmed's report for DD India.